Dude, why are you wearing a suit in the national park? Let me show you what this guy is wearing. Give me the camera. Yeah. You know, he's removed the coat. See, he's actually wearing the... No, Adagala, you gotta complete your look, man. No, you gotta...
No way, man. No way.
He's wearing office kicks. And this jacket... like, were you trying to impress someone? Like, what's happening?
Look at this. Yeah, man. Turned on Tinder here and some rhinos on Tinder.
Today has been the most heartbreaking day of my life. This is literally almost 20 graves of rhinos.
Just a week after 11 black rhinos were moved to a new reserve in Kenya, 3/4 of them have died.
The death of the rhinos is a big blow to the country's heritage.
Dr. Richard Leakey has blamed Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala for the death of 11 rhinos.
That has now occasioned changes at the Kenya Wildlife Service with a spiral of blame games.
This is actually a national disaster.
In the 1970s, more than 20,000 rhinos roamed Kenya in the wild. Today, that number stands at 745. Global black rhino populations in fact fell by 97% from 1960 to 1994. Poaching for the rhino horn is a practice driven by demand from principally Asian markets, from Malaysia to South Korea to India, Laos, Burma, China and Vietnam. Rhino horn is believed or has been believed to cure various ailments. In the black market, a rhino horn can fetch up to $100,000 per kilogram, which is even more valuable than gold. However, there is zero scientific evidence to support any of its medical benefits. In fact, the rhino horn is just really a glorified toenail. They are both made of the same compound, keratin. Biologists consider translocation as an effective way of conserving critically endangered species. The most successful translocation ever recorded was in Arkansas in the US. 254 black bears were introduced into the Ozark Mountains in the 1950s, and 10 years later, they had multiplied to 2,500.
It's been 2 hours since we started the translocation and we still haven't found our first rhino. We're still looking for our first rhino, and then after that we're gonna get our second rhino. So we're gonna be here probably for the next 2, 3, 4 hours. And just an interesting side story. Like, I was talking to a ranger there, and he was saying there's a family of lions that love strolling about here, like 8 lions, and with their cubs, you know, just puff family. So they're pretty common around this area, hence Lion Valley. So kind of 0.4 kilometers away from danger. So it may take a few meters.
Rhinos need massive roaming space to thrive. Once a sanctuary approaches its maximum carrying capacity for rhinos, translocation to other sanctuaries encourages faster breeding and introduces new populations where there were none. There are 6 steps to any translocation process: identification, sedation, cleaning and biodata collection, microchipping, transportation, and release.
They were removing blood from the leg of the rhino while it was sedated. So that's to study the animal later in the lab to see if it has any diseases or anything like that. And then there's another team cleaning up the wounds with the purple stuff. That's the purple stuff you saw. That was to disinfect the injuries the rhino already had before they sedated it.
71.
And then another team was drilling the microchip in the horn of the rhino.
The microchipping system works by implanting one microchip into the horn, and a second one into the body. This, along with the rhino DNA database, helps to keep track of the rhinos.
Disastrous translocation, which left all 11 rhinos dead, has sparked off a storm, with the Tourism Ministry and outgoing KWS board now engaging in a blame game.
Salt poisoning is actually not the responsibility of a veterinarian. It is actually a natural calamity just like any other.
So we are sad and we are disappointed with some of the officers who should have taken responsibilities, and they didn't take their work seriously.
An investigation done by Agence France-Presse, otherwise known as AFP, determined that the toxic levels of salt in the water was actually well known beforehand, and yet the program was still pushed through. An expensive mistake, it seems, considering that the World Wildlife Fund donated $1 million to the project. Official reports stated that the 11 rhinos died due to higher than recommended levels of salinity in the borehole water in Tsavo East, alongside dehydration, starvation, and opportunistic bacteria in the upper respiratory tract of the rhinos. It's been a rough year for rhinos in Kenya. Sudan, who was the last northern white male rhino in the world, died on 19th March 2018. While the chaotic aftermath of the botched translocation ensued, a rhino was poached in Lake Nakuru National Park and found dehorned. In October 2018, China unexpectedly announced that it plans to lift the ban on the sale of tiger and rhino products for permitted trade. This includes sales of cultural relics and in medical research and healing. After a lot of pressure from international groups, China put these plans on hold. This shows that saving these creatures is not out of reach. However, I feel that we were approaching this from a different angle. We need to first understand these creatures and make this information as widely known as possible. And I think I know just a place where we can do this.